Let's spend a few minutes considering the difference between happiness, pleasure, satisfaction, and joy. It's easy for me to bring this up today because I am experiencing a very joyful day. I had a very joyful morning, and a few days ago, a very joyful evening as Anne and I celebrated our 45th wedding anniversary in a celebration at a church hall not far from our home. That brought us true joy. Ordinarily, in American culture, people wait until their 50th, their golden anniversary, for the big party. But because of our health issues, I'm dealing with cancer right now. But I had another infusion yesterday that went very well, and I'm feeling better. And my lazy eye is just starting to open up a little bit, giving me really some encouragement that these treatments are working. That brings me some comfort for sure, but also adds to my joy knowing that God is at work in my life, as I trust He is in yours as well. This celebration involved, gosh, over 100 people were there. Many of our friends and family members came, and we had other remote participation from Nigeria, from Uganda. My sons and brothers in these places all shared in the joy of that occasion, as did my wife's friends, mine that are local, and our children and their families. So we had a very large and happy group available to share in our accomplishment of having had 45 years to live and love together. That's pretty special, and it was an occasion of true joy that surpassed the happiness of the moment and the pleasure of good food and drink and so on. And the participation of our parish priests, three of them who were there and added so much to the occasion because these are wonderfully sincere and dedicated men of God who have certainly helped me through the challenges I'm dealing with presently, and Anne through her own cancer challenges over the last year. All of that added together. Now, here we are on Independence Day, the 4th of July, as we share this conversation. And look what I'm wearing. Yes, I am a bit proud and prideful today. The Peachtree Road Race t shirt. This is what you get for finishing the 10K, 10-kilometer race, roughly 6 miles through the heart of Atlanta, which is typically very hot and sticky this time of year. It was today too, but just before the race started, we had a brief, refreshing sprinkling of rain. Not a horrendous downpour, but just enough to cool things off a bit and make that race a little bit easier for an old man like me. And who shared that experience with me? Before I tell you that, I got to say that I have been in every single one of these road races since 1984. That was my first one. I missed twice, once because COVID 19 canceled it, and once because Ann and I were out of the country just a couple of years ago when the race took place. But every other one, there I was, with or without children, because some of them weren't even born yet when I started. Used to run sometimes with some friends. A couple of times in, maybe 10, 15 years ago, all of our family members ran. Even Anne, who doesn't consider herself much of a runner, although she's better at it than she gives herself credit for. But today wasn't just fun and making me happy by the crowds on the side of the street that are full of goodwill and cheering you on as you run through. You go through areas where they're playing rock music and so on, and just a fun time to celebrate the 4th of July here in America. Anyway, what got me the real joy of the occasion was the presence of my four children, Christine, Marianne, Dan, and Dave. All four wanted to run with me, even though they could have left me in the dust had they wanted to. They chose to run with the tortoise. I didn't stop. I didn't have to break stride. I was able to keep on going and running through that whole 10K. Not very fast, though. There were times when I would have run it better than twice as fast as I did today. But so what? We got it done. It was fun. and the joy of seeing my kids show their love for me, which they did, and their concern. They wanted to make sure the old man didn't keel over in the middle of the street. I didn't. I probably wouldn't be sitting here if that had happened. But also seeing them relate to each other. They had a good time with one another. And if you're a parent, I think that one of the things you'll value most, perhaps it's certainly something that I do, is the hope that your children grow up to truly enjoy one another's company even as adults. And ours do. Their siblings, their spouses were not present today because they were taking care of kids and allowed Christine, Marianne, Dan, and Dave the pleasure of running the Peachtree. And they did it with Dad. They didn't have to do that. In fact, I told them, just get your best time. Go for the time. They didn't want to do that this year. They wanted to stick around with me. I just had an infusion for my cancer yesterday. I didn't know if I'd feel well enough to do this. No side effects. I'm fine. Again, I ran slow, but I would anyway. I'm an old guy. And I'm not particularly in the best of shape right now. I've been a little bit lazy lately. But by golly, it was true joy, unbridled joy. And I hope that on the 4th of July and every day, we all get a taste of it and that it is something that you value and experience. God makes joy possible regardless of the challenges we face. And when we have the occasion of people that we love and people who love us close by, you can't beat it. I get that joy from you, whether you're here in the country, in Atlanta, or elsewhere in the country, or far beyond it. Brothers and sisters, children, my sons and daughters, everywhere that people are comfortable enough using that title with me, brings me true joy. And of course, my immediate family, my dear wife Anne, who drove us to the beginning of the race and picked us up at the end of it, and all those, the 4 kids who had this chance to be with me today. May your life be marked by joy. May you know the difference of life with muted joy and life with unbounding joy, regardless of whatever circumstances life presents you. God bless you. Have a good 4th of July this year and every year.